Happy New Year, guys. So this morning, everyone else is still asleep, so I got to wake up early and do my reading out of Joel Salatin's book, Pastured Poultry Profits. So today we were talking about the feed ration for the Cornish cross broiler chickens, and he started off by noting that this feed ration is only going to take up about 80% of their actual diet. So as long as you're moving them every day onto fresh grass, they can get up to 20% of their diet just off of the green grass. Now he gives an entire list of the ingredients they put into their feed ration, but then he breaks down all of them and why he uses them. So the three biggest ones that take up the most of the feed ration are corn, roasted soybeans, and crimped oats. So the corn gives the chickens their starch. The corn is what provides the energy for the chicken all day long. The roasted soybeans is a plant-based protein that adds a ton of protein into their diet, and by roasting those soybeans, they're able to really preserve the fats and oils inside of those soybeans. The third largest portion of their feed ration is crimped oats. He says whole oats are fine, but this just really gives the birds the fibers they need to digest their food. And then he goes on to add a bunch of fish meal, limestone, NutriBalancer, kelp meal. So there's a whole bunch of stuff, and this book even gives you the percentages to mix your own feed. So that's what I read this morning. He also said if you're just starting out with a small flock and you can't get your own feed mixed, that it's okay to just go to your local feed mill and buy the best organic non-GMO feed that you can find. It is extremely cold outside. There's ice everywhere. It's probably miserable for these chickens. So I am glad I have this greenhouse so I can go ahead and pour their feed inside the greenhouse. I'm able to keep water thawed out in this tank. We still have liquid water. By keeping it inside the greenhouse and having a submergible water tank heater inside of here, ran an extension cord to the shed. This has given them a perfect little paradise on the coldest days so far. They did a pretty good job yesterday taking this pile down of wood chips. It's almost down to nothing. Let's go ahead and check our eggs out. We've got one laid down here. Seems pretty cold. We've got two. Might not be bad. Three. Might not be too bad. Alright, since it's such a cold, miserable day out here, I'm going to go ahead and do Corden's morning chores for him. We've got some extra strawberries that didn't get eaten that we're going to go ahead and throw in for a snack too. around back here and check his eggs real quick this morning. There's one. Real cold. So when I got inside, I realized I don't think any of those eggs are still warm enough to put in the incubator. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set an alarm for every hour today. I'm gonna go out and check those boxes. So hopefully any more eggs that we get won't be more than an hour old, and hopefully we'll be able to put those straight into the incubator. All right, my alarm just went off. It's been an hour, so we're gonna go out and check on our eggs. Hopefully they're not too cold. Whoa, I just walked in here to see these big limbs here have fallen down over our brush pile. The ice was just too much weight and broke them down off the trees. And look at this. Everybody's inside the greenhouse. Not a single chicken outside. Now to check on our eggs. There's one. Probably still warm. All right, so I know this egg is less than an hour old. We're gonna go inside and get it put in the incubator. So what I'm working on today is designing our gardens and chicken systems for this year. We're gonna order our seeds for the garden soon, so I wanna figure out how much garden space we have. All of these white rectangles are gonna be our garden areas. As you can see, over in here is our main garden area. We're gonna have some big crop gardens. We're gonna have 4 raised beds right next to each other there. This brown rectangle is going to be our woodshed. That's where we're going to hold all our firewood. We're going to be completing that hopefully in the next week, getting a roof on there. This white circle is our greenhouse. I'm going to come up with a different color for it, but for right now, that's where that is. In front of the house, we're going to have
because it's a greenhouse.
Maybe. In front of the house, we're going to have a couple beds, and on the south side of our house, so the sun can hit it. And then we've got raspberries we're planning on putting over here on the other side of the driveway, and blueberries down on the other side. Now back here, I had pigs here. This is where I ran a set of pigs last year in 2020. So now 2021, I want to use this as a garden area. It was a crabapple forest. I sent some pigs through there. They cleared it all out for me, and I want to garden that area now and make a nice crop garden. We've got Corden learning how to boil his own eggs over here. He's going to try some boiled eggs today. Alright, so right now our flock of chickens are hanging out right back here in this garden area. They're clearing the ground, they're getting it all ready, tilling it all up. But as soon as we take them out to plant seeds in the garden, they're going to come out here in this red area. So I'm going to put them on a quadrant system where I can move my electric fence every 3 days, and I'll move them to the next quadrant and they can eat the grass out of our yard. So in permaculture, they say to start with zone 1. Zone 1 means as close to the house as possible. So the closest stuff to your house is where you want to start. So we're going to start on our front home beds right here. So this is our house. The front door is right about here. This is our front porch. Corden's chickens are right off the front porch in this area right here. And they're prepping these garden beds right here. We're going to move them along the house to get these nice and fertilized and ready for our garden in the spring. But to start laying out our gardens, we're going to start with this bed right over here.
this is what our first garden bed's gonna look like. Right outside the door, we're gonna alternate cherry tomatoes and strawberries going down our sidewalk here so that we can have a nice snack every day coming out the door. All right, now on the other side of the house here, as we come off the other side of the porch, the chickens are preparing these garden beds for us right now. We're gonna have one big tomato plant right here off the side of the porch, and then I wanna put lettuce and kale along the front of the house. Hopefully we're gonna get some really pretty colors, get some purple lettuce, and then right here in this black area is where the water comes out of the house. So we're gonna have our hose hook up right there. We're gonna build a little dock for that. This white area on the end, we're gonna leave this garden bed open for the kids. I'm gonna let the kids go in there, plant whatever they want, and see how they do on their own. All right, my alarm just went off, so it's time to go back out and check on our eggs. So I just came out the door, and I can see there's a hen sitting in there in Corden's box. So we'll wait for her to get on it. This is absolutely crazy. These trees are getting so heavy from all the ice. They're splitting and they're falling everywhere. I'm almost nervous standing underneath some of these trees because I've been standing out here and they've just been falling out of nowhere, crashing down to the ground. I brought these guys out a little treat. Brought them some strawberries, a little bit of old milk in there. They'll enjoy that. Oh man, we have a couple hens in the nesting boxes here too. So we're gonna go ahead and wait. I'm gonna come back out in about 30 minutes. So I just realized that I didn't get it on film, but as I was coming back inside, Corden's hen had stood up off the nest and there was an egg there. Alright, so I set up a key at the bottom so we can keep track of what fruits and vegetables we're planting as we go. Next, we're gonna move into our big garden area back here where the chickens are prepping right now. Alright, so I think I've finished up our garden area here. We're gonna start out, we've got our raised beds over in this area. We're gonna have half and half lettuce and kale in our first raised bed. Now here, we're gonna have cherry tomatoes and regular tomatoes. Up here, may be hard for you to see it. This is yellow on the left. That's gonna be our peppers, and gray on the right here. That's gonna be our onions. So we're gonna split a bed for peppers and onions. Then behind that, we're gonna have our crop gardens. We're gonna have a big section for watermelons. Our whole family loves watermelon. And then behind it, we're gonna run a pumpkin patch. So we'll have pumpkins in the back there. This whole area here will be corn. We're gonna plant a few rows of corn right there. And then we're gonna come up, this white area here is our squash. We're gonna plant squash there. And then potatoes down here. So that will be our crop garden there. And then back here we are gonna have some strawberry plants along the fence line. And I would like to run grapes on this little area of the fence here. Alright, Corden's eggs are ready, so he's going to try a boiled egg for the first time.
Okay. How big should I get? Not that bad.
There you go, take another bite.
Wait. I got a little cut!
Try to bite down to the yolk.
Okay. If I bite too far, I don't like it.
Alright, our hens are gone, so let's go ahead and grab these eggs. Oh, she didn't lay one. And that hen is still there. it didn't work that time. I'm pretty sure this was the hen that was in the box. So what's going on, lady? Why didn't you lay anything for us? All right then. Well, I guess I'll come back out in 30 more minutes. All right, it's time for afternoon chores, so I'm gonna go ahead and feed these guys. Now let's go and see if our hen has laid her egg yet. And now they're both in the boxes. This is not working, guys. So I just came up to feed Rock and he was cozied up in his little shelter here. So I think we're doing a good job keeping him warm. He's got plenty of straw in there. It still hasn't come back apart. So it looks like he'll be all right through the winter here. All right, this hen just stood up as I walked around here, so we're gonna go ahead and go grab her egg. And then if we move back to the area that the 2020 pigs tilled for us, so right back here we're gonna have peas, squash, potatoes, all the way down in rows, and we're gonna see how that does. And the last thing we have to plan on here is our blueberries and our raspberries. So right along this fence line, as we head back to the pasture, we're gonna put 2 beds. I actually already have the raspberry bed assembled and wood chipped, and we already have 1 raspberry plant in it. We're gonna work on the blueberry bed early this spring, and we're gonna plant as many plants as we can fit in that area. So that pretty much wraps up our garden plan for 2021. The snow's definitely coming down a little harder out here now, so the kids are wanting to play. We're gonna check on eggs one more time, and then we're gonna go ahead and have some fun with the kids. All right, our hen has left the nest. We do have an egg. Still nice and warm. We're gonna take it inside. And there's a second egg in this one. Still warm.